What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, May 16th at 6:48 p.m. We have our cap is busting. We have storms forming across Arkansas. We already have some mature storms in northeast Arkansas, and we'll talk about those in just a second. We have storms forming, though. The cap is pretty much eroding completely, and we have storms going up west of Heber Springs near Clinton. This is going to become a severe thunderstorm, I think, pretty quick. We have additional storms developing near Russellville and Waldron, Boonville, and this is all moving to the east. All of this activity is moving east. We have some stuff down here we'll have to watch. We've got a big-time tornado outbreak ongoing to our northeast in Indiana, Kentucky, and Illinois. We've had tornadoes in Missouri today. So hopefully we do not follow suit. But I do want to discuss the reason why I went ahead and went live is because this severe thunderstorm in northeast Arkansas is a considerable threat. And it had a tornado possible tag on it from the National Weather Service. And this is for Clay County in far northeast Arkansas, so places like Corning, Piggott, McDougal, Pollard, Success, Nobel, Greenway. This is a fairly powerful thunderstorm with hail possible too, along with damaging straight line wind gust. You can see that hail core is most evident there on the Arkansas-Missouri border between north of Maynard and Success. Guys, if you don't mind, do me a favor. Leave a comment. Let me know if the video looks okay. And let me know if you can hear me fine. I just kind of powered everything up. So before I really get started, I would love to hear that feedback real quick. I do have the chat pulled up, but obviously can't look at the chat all the time. So if you have questions and I missed them, last time I was live, I had somebody get really upset because I didn't answer their question, but I didn't see it. Folks, if I don't see your question, I'm sorry. I'll do my best to look at the chat when I can, okay? We also have a severe thunderstorm warning here to the west for Randolph County. So Pocahontas, Biggers, Reno, Maynard, Raven and Springs. And I will read the National Weather Service text for this one. The severe thunderstorm was located near Dalton, or 16 miles northwest of Pocahontas, moving east at 45. And this is where the hail is likely possible here, just north of Raven and Springs. Folks, I want to remind everyone, we also have a storm that's going up near Cherokee Village and one near Horseshoe Bend, where the radar is starting to fill in a little bit, and this was kind of expected. I do want to let everyone know that I got to fix something on my camera real quick. I do want to let everyone know. Where is my? Give me just a moment, guys. I'm so sorry. There it is. Okay, sorry guys. I do want to go down and discuss these storms too. We'll go back to the northeast Arkansas storms in a moment because those are the most powerful at the time. We do have a special weather statement on the storm near Clinton, Shirley, and Fairfield Bay. It does not have a severe thunderstorm warning yet. I would expect that soon if it continues to mature. And then we have these pops from Russellville, Hector, and Dover, all the way down to Scott County near Waldron. And these will likely become stronger thunderstorms with time. I do want to reiterate and remind everyone, I made a post about it earlier. The instability this afternoon is very high. There's a lot of thunderstorm fuel to work with. It's very warm. It's very humid. The atmosphere has been allowed to bake all day. And I truly think that the tornado risk could be somewhat limited due to a lack of unfavorable wind profiles at the surface. That doesn't mean the tornado threat is zero. I'm just saying that we've had bigger days for tornado threats, but I think the hail threat today is very legitimate. We've already had large hail today, and I think we could have more with these storms as they continue to mature. I would be surprised if these storms weren't producing some sizable hail. I don't have a whole lot of reports in my inbox, so we'll wait to see on that. But any storm tonight, any storm tonight could produce very large hail is what I'm trying to spit out. I'm sorry, I got a message from somebody talking about, I don't know who this person is. So I want you to be aware of that. The problem is I cannot guarantee any one person a storm, but the way the radar is filling in, unless you live west of this, so if you live in Fort Smith, if you live in Northwest Arkansas, maybe Harrison, Clarksville, Alma, Van Buren, that part of the state, the front has already kind of encroached. So it looks like most of the activity is going to be here and moving off to the east. Oh, I did just get some large hail from Raven and Springs. Holy cow. I'm going to get this posted on Facebook. I'll show you guys in just a second. I need to hire somebody to run my social media while I'm live like this. Okay, there we go. So I'm about to show you a picture of the hail coming out of this storm. Jessica Helms just sent me a photo from Raven Springs. This is the hail from that storm. So fairly large hail coming out of that storm near Raven Springs. This is just the start of many. The hail core responsible is this right here. Hey, I'm doing live coverage right now, okay? All right, bye. This is the hail core that produced that, though. That just passed north of Raven Springs. You can see when we loop the radar, it passed here just north of town. Jessica must live there just north of town. But we have another severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for areas to the west. Cherokee Village, Highland, Williford, Ash Flat for this storm, growing storm right here. Could be some hail north of Cherokee Village. And then, of course, we have the severe thunderstorm here in northeast Arkansas for Clay County. Hail core right on the Arkansas and Missouri border. And then we have the storms that are developing to the southwest. So that's kind of where we're at right now, guys. I decided to go ahead and come on live. Generally don't go live just for severe thunderstorm warnings, but today's a little bit different due to how volatile the atmosphere is. I don't understand why we have a tornado watch until 2 a.m. when the storms are supposed to stop around 8. Sometimes they extend the watches well past the necessary time as a precaution. That's probably why. I wouldn't sweat it too much. We do have tornado watches. The tornado watches in western Arkansas have been allowed to expire. But I'll show you guys the current watch set from the National Weather Service in Little Rock. So this is the tornado watches as of May 16th at 6:57 p.m. So pretty much all the yellow counties are under a tornado watch. So pretty much everyone north of I-40, along with some of our western Arkansas counties, Scott County, Logan, Polk, Montgomery, Garland, Saline County. South Arkansas, most of South Arkansas is not under a tornado watch at this time. So we'll see and monitor if that changes. But right now we don't have any thunderstorms in that area either. So this is kind of where we're at on on tornado watches. So all the way up to Harrison, over to Mountain Home, Jonesboro, down to Brinkley, Little Rock, Conway, Russellville, Searcy, Batesville, all under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. tonight. Some of these western Arkansas counties might be allowed to expire soon. but I know that central and eastern Arkansas will likely be until 2 a.m. tonight. So we have another special weather statement that's been issued for a storm that has developed in southern Logan County that will soon be moving into Yell County. So Havana, Danville, Plainview. And this, just like every other storm that we deal with tonight, will likely have the potential to produce large to very large hail. I think we could see hail sizes up to baseball and softball size today. So could be a problem tonight. This is one of those instances where I don't really buy into the hail forecast a lot. I feel like sometimes hail sizes, when it comes to the forecast, can get a little bit exaggerated. But today is legit. The thunderstorms today could be explosive and could produce very large hail. And this could be our next producer, the one that's moving into Yell County. So Danville, Plainview, Ola, just a heads up. We have a storm developing over Russellville, Dardanelle, the I-40 area between London and Atkins. This needs to be watched as it moves downstream into central Arkansas. So Conway, Menifee, Greenbrier, that's moving east towards you. Then we have a special weather statement on the storm near Clinton, Shirley, Fairfield Bay. This, with time, could produce large hail and strong winds. And then, once again, revisiting our severe thunderstorms in northeast Arkansas, where these storms already have a history of producing large hail, especially the one here north of Pocahontas. And you can see that hail core. Pocahontas is right here. That hail core is north of town, headed for Maynard, Reno, Biggers. There's a good chance that you could have large hail moving into down here pretty soon. Starting to get more reports. But we don't have any tornado warnings right now. I'm not expecting a tornado outbreak tonight. Famous last words. But I truly think that the profiles today are more supportive of strong winds, hail. Not saying we won't observe tornadoes, but I don't think this is going to... A lot of people, I feel like, anticipate this to be just like what we had in March. Kind of has that same feel. Things are kind of evolving in the same way. But the fact of the matter is the profiles are not the same as that day. That day was very exceptional for tornadoes. Whereas in today, the instability is on the extreme side, which could make up for some of those unfavorable surface wind profiles. So we'll see. Guys, I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, but I truly think that the bigger concern today is very large hail. So I think if we were to see tornadoes, the best chances are in this part of the state, northeast Arkansas. The closer you get to Missouri, Tennessee, and Kentucky, I feel like the odds are better for tornadoes. You can see there's tornado warnings here just north of Malden, Missouri. That's not far from the Arkansas state line up towards Dexter, Bernie, and Parma. But as far as Arkansas goes, it's almost 7 o'clock. No tornado warnings here. But I do want to reiterate, and I feel like we've kind of learned this lately, sometimes severe thunderstorms can be way worse than a low-end tornado, especially if you get 70, 80 mile an hour straight line wind gust and baseball-size hail. Even if there is no tornado, that's going to cause a lot of problems. They added a special weather statement to the storm that we were discussing earlier that's in Logan, Scott, and soon to be Yell County. I want to remind everyone, if you live in Plainview, if you live in Danville, if you live south of Havana, I know that this is a pretty rural area here and whatnot in that part of Yell County, but this storm is moving off to the east and could eventually produce large hail, maybe even a heads up down in Perry County. So if you live in Casa, Adana, Perryville, that storm's not super far from you to the west, and they will be moving quicker today. Storm moving into Clinton and Shirley as well. They have the potential to produce hail. But by far our biggest concern for the short term is the storms in northeast Arkansas. This hail core that is moving into Maynard now, I would be very interested to see what the hail sizes are in that storm. That I got a report on Facebook a few moments ago. It's on my Facebook page of some fairly large hail that fell just north of Raven and Springs from Jessica Helms. Looks to be about golf ball size. So I wouldn't be surprised if golf ball size hail is headed for Maynard, Biggers, Reno, and Dado. Just to give everyone a little bit of a reset, because I know that some of you, I see some people asking about, how about Central Arkansas and this, that, and the other. So these storms are moving east, and we could have additional development down here, but for now, this is really all we have. This line is moving east. So if you live in Little Rock, Conway, Searcy, first of all, you're under a tornado watch. If you live in Jonesboro, Mark Tree, if you live in Hazen, Brinkley, Stuttgart, you can tell these storms are to your west. They're moving to the east now, towards Conway, Searcy, Heber Springs, Mark Tree. All of this activity will move east with time tonight. The forecast is really, honestly, I'm really proud of the forecast thus far. We had a round of storms early afternoon. We had our break as forecasted, and now storms have developed in that 5 to 7 p.m. hour. We're kind of right on schedule. Wasn't really expecting storms to be into Central Arkansas until that 6 to 8 to maybe even 9 p.m. window, which I think we're going to get close to. And then storms in Northeast Arkansas. If we have any storms in South Arkansas, it might be a little bit later, from like 9 to 10 p.m. maybe. So that's kind of where we're setting as far as a reset across the state. If you live in Western Arkansas, if you live in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Poto, Oklahoma, Northwest Arkansas, Van Buren, Alma, Mountainburg, all the tornado watches that were issued earlier have been allowed to expire. I think the storms are going to develop and maintain off to the east. The front has kind of encroached into that area, brought in a little bit less humidity, where most of the storm fuel is off to the east now towards Little Rock, Jonesboro, and so on. So hopefully that kind of settles any questions for those of you who live in Western Arkansas. But for the rest of the state, not so lucky. We're going to have to deal with some storms at least through the next several hours. Guys, I can't give Truman in the clear. That's in eastern Arkansas. Storms are still to the west. So, Timothy, you were under a tornado watch until 7. I'm not sure what county you're in, but they might have extended the tornado watch where you live to 2 a.m. So it's possible that Tommy, how about Blytheville, Arkansas tonight? We're gonna have to watch for some storms, brother. We've got storms that are obviously off to your west now. That could eventually impact you later tonight. You're under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. Maumelle, same thing. Storms off to the west, moving east now. I'm going to put the arrows on here so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everything is moving off to the east. So if you live east of the arrows, if you live to the right of the arrows, I cannot rule anything out for you right now. Christian says, what are the chances for a tornado near Bradford and Searcy? I don't feel like the chances are incredibly high, but you are under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. So they can't be ruled out. The tornado risk is certainly not zero. I don't think it's real high, but it's not zero. Paragold, same thing. You're in eastern Arkansas. Storms are off to your west and moving east now. You're under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. Manila, same thing. Haley says, once the storm's forming pass, we should be good. Yeah, I think in general, if you have a storm move through your area, I think once that moves off to the east, you should be okay for the rest of the night. We'll watch for any redevelopments, but I don't think we're going to have like waves and waves of storms all night. How's it looking for Pope County? Storms are moving over you now. I think that the worst of it's about to move off to the east if you live in Pope County. Rose, I don't follow that page. I don't really pay attention to other weather pages while I'm doing live coverage. So Faulkner County, Conway is still under a watch. Yes, you're under a tornado watch. Yep. Unless they canceled it at 7. Let me check, and so I don't give anybody false information. Let me pull up Twitter real quick and pull up that tornado warning. Or watch, I mean. My neighbor is mowing, if you hear mowing in the background. So, whoever asked about Faulkner County, yes, you are under. Let me just show you guys real quick. I should have showed this earlier because we have several watches that just expired. So this is the tornado watches through 2 a.m. tonight. Western Arkansas from Logan, Sebastian, Johnson, and Franklin County up to North Arkansas, from Baxter all the way west to Fayetteville, Bentonville, Rogers, Elkins, parts of Madison and Carroll County, you have been canceled. There's no tornado watches south of Little Rock, essentially. Pine Bluff, Whitehall, El Dorado, Camden, you're not under tornado watches. They only included the tornado watches to include a sliver of West Central Arkansas, the I-40 corridor all the way to Memphis, and all of Northeast Arkansas, from Searcy up to Jonesboro, up to Hardy, Cherokee Village, Paragould, Brinkley, Hazen, Corning, Blytheville. Guys, you can see the yellow counties there. If you're in a yellow county, you're under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. So we had tornado watches earlier for Western Arkansas. Many of those counties have been canceled. You're good to go. Those have been allowed to expire. And these are until 2 a.m. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that we need to talk about, and it is for the storms that have formed all the way from Havana down to Waldron. So Yell, parts of Scott County, a small chunk of southeastern Logan County. We have storms forming near Dardanelle and Russellville that aren't severe technically, but will be soon. And then we still have our special weather statement storm there. We have a severe thunderstorm near Cherokee Village, Highland, and Ashflat. This is moving off to the east. You can see the polygon moving off to the east. And we have severe thunderstorms in northeast Arkansas, headed for Clay County now, passing through northern Randolph County. This is moving to the east. Large hail possible over Maynard right now. That's headed for Biggers, Reno, Dado, and Success. And probably Corning with time, unless that hail core just dissolves. So if you live in any of the areas that we just spoke about, large hail is possible. This storm has a history of producing large hail, potentially up to golf ball size. We'll go ahead and read the National Weather Service text on the severe thunderstorm warning here in Scott, Yell counties. So the National Weather Service stated that at 7:07 p.m. Central District Time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Stonehouse Recreation Area, or near Danville, 15 miles west of Danville, that is, moving east at 40, so moving pretty quick, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. The hail core is located here west of Danville still, south of Blue Mountain, so just south of Blue Mountain, southwest of Havana. So this is going to head off towards Plainview, Danville, and eventually Ola. So a big heads up to my Yell County people. Large hail is possible here in the next 30-45 minutes. And then we have our special weather statement. This storm's kind of fizzled a little bit. Earlier I thought that Haley, sometimes they issue those tornado watches well out past the timeline as a precaution. So I don't think we're going to have tornado warnings at 2 a.m. The special weather statement storm near Shirley, Clinton, and Fairfield Bay has kind of fizzled a little bit. We'll see what happens to it. But I thought earlier that was going to kind of be the storm, but so far it's kind of struggled a little bit. We'll have to watch that little pop there near Pine Bluff. I'm curious to see if that thing can survive on its own. Jamie's asking about Garland County. You don't have anything moving into Garland County anytime soon. We don't have any storms formed yet. Your phone app is really going to struggle on days like today because we have scattered coverage. Not a good day to use weather apps. But it could be onto something. If the cap is a little bit stronger down near Hot Springs, storms could struggle to form. The tornado watch does include Garland County, which means that the National Weather Service has some confidence that you could see maybe some storms. So we'll see what happens, see if anything forms to your west. Madison says, is Mountain Home clear for the night? I think so, yeah. I think Baxter County's clear. You're out of the tornado watch. Lawrence County, there's storms moving through Lawrence County now. That's moving off to the east-northeast near Clay County. There's a storm near Cherokee Village. Raven and Springs, there's stuff to the north of you. That's all moving off to the east. Northwestern Lawrence County is under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. Ronnie's asking about Jonesboro. Yep, Jonesboro's right here on the map. We have storms to your west and to your northwest. We'll see what happens. We'll see if that Shirley and Concord storm moves off to the east. If it grows, it looks like we have more development there southwest of Cherokee Village that could impact that area. So Jonesboro is under a tornado watch, Craighead County in general, until 2 a.m. Nothing is going on in Jonesboro. Yep, no, nothing's going on in Jonesboro. It hasn't made it to you yet. I saw another person post that Baxter County was in a tornado watch until 2 a.m. The National Weather Service does not reflect that, so I don't know what that person's talking about. Trying to get to Jonesboro from Fort Smith, will I be fine if I stay west of the line? Yeah, Matt, if you stay west of the line, you'll probably avoid any issues, but be careful driving. Alex, how big is the hail in Yell County? We have a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. It looks like we have more hail forming near Waldron now. Another hail core here, folks. We could have a lot of hail cores tonight with larger hail. So this is kind of proof we're dealing with it a bunch right now. This severe thunderstorm warning goes all the way up from Waldron to Havana near Dardanelle. We have a tornado warning. This is a new tornado warning in northeast Arkansas. Our first one of the day, in the afternoon that is. We had a warning this morning for a circulation here near Maynard. It's kind of in between Maynard, Reno, Biggers, and all this. It's right here. So there's our circulation. It does not appear that the National Weather Service extended this into Clay County. I'll go ahead and read the text. We can talk about that for a second. Large hail likely, though, regardless of a tornado. This is a considerable threat for the National Weather Service. We'll go ahead and read the tornado warning. It expires in 16 minutes. At 7:11 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Biggers, or 10 miles northeast of Pocahontas. This is radar indicated, so the circulation is just north of town. Biggers is right here. Circulation is going to be just north of town. So if you live in eastern Randolph County, if you live in Reno, if you live in western Clay County, I don't know why there's no polygon extending into Clay County. But if you live in this area, western Clay County, if you live west of Corning, near Success, Dado, Reno, you should be sheltered because a tornado warning has just been issued by the National Weather Service. But really want everyone there in eastern Randolph County to be sheltered due to this. And like I said earlier, we have a large hail potential in this storm as well. And this is the only tornado warning in the state of Arkansas. We have some severe thunderstorms, but this is the only tornado warning. Megan, I did talk about Dardanelle with large hail potential due to the storms to your west, yes. I gotta ban somebody from the chat real quick, guys. So it looks like they're gonna go ahead and issue the tornado warning out into Clay County. So we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to try to get on here and ban this person out of the chat. I don't have any moderators on Facebook. I don't know if it'll let me. Yeah, it will. I'm waiting on the polygon to update on my screen, guys, for the new tornado warning for Clay County. You give me just a second, it'll update. While we're waiting on that tornado warning to update, we do have a severe thunderstorm near Cherokee Village. We have a strong thunderstorm south of Mountain View, headed towards Batesville. And we have severe thunderstorms pretty much from Russellville all the way down to Waldron, Yell County, Scott County. Could eventually impact Conway County, Perry County. So just a heads up. Still waiting on the polygon to update here. There it is. So we got our tornado warning polygon to update. Very, very large hail likely in Reno, Dado, and Success. Soon to be Corning. The hail could be very, very large in this storm. So I want to make that very clear. And our circulation is embedded in here as well. So if you live in Clay County, northeastern Greene County is also included in the warning too. The warning does not include the city of Pocahontas or Okeen. So if you're in Pocahontas and the siren's going off, this is not for you. This is for Clay County, specifically McDougal, Pollard, Piggott, Greenway, Corning, Nobel. I don't remember how to say that. Somebody have to correct me in the comments. But this is headed for Corning. That Corning is a somewhat populated area there in Clay County. It's a nice little place. And then, of course, Piggott as well. So if you live anywhere really in Clay County, you should be sheltered. It is 7:15 p.m. and we have a tornado warning for Clay County and parts of Randolph County and extreme northeastern Greene County. Delaplane, Leif, Marmaduke, Oak Grove Heights, and Paragould are not included in this tornado warning. And this is moving east now. So I want everyone in Clay County to be sheltered. That's our only tornado warning on the board right now. Resetting everything for those of you who are just now joining. Activities moving east. Everything's going to be moving east tonight. If you live west of the line, don't have really anything to worry about. If you live to the right or to the east of the line, near Little Rock and areas points north and east, you're going to have to watch for thunderstorms over the next few hours. We have one tornado warning on the board in northeast Arkansas for Clay and northeastern sections of Greene County. And extreme eastern sections of Randolph County. I'm going to pull up my phone real quick and see if I can get any reports. I'm real interested to know how big the hail is. I don't know how many followers I have there in western Clay County. There we go. Just got an image of hail from Dalton, Arkansas. Which is in Randolph County, which is right here, Pocahontas. That's where Dalton is in Randolph County. I'll show you guys a photo of this. We've had some really big hail today, and I don't think we're done. Yeah, the hail near Dalton looked about golf ball size, maybe slightly larger. I'm going to pull up. I have some storm chasers that I'm trying to work with today in northeast Arkansas. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like. But for now, this is the only tornado warning on the board here in northeast Arkansas. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning near Cherokee Village. We'll have to watch closely. That's headed for Raventon Springs. But the tornado warning here is for Clay and northeastern Greene County and eastern sections of Randolph County. The circulation is moving through Dado and Reno now. Large hail is likely with this. This storm has a history of producing fairly large hail. So if you live in Corning, or anywhere near Corning, if you live in Dado, Reno, or Success, soon to be McDougal, Pollard, Piggott, and Greenway, St. Francis. If you live in Corning, it's pivotal that you're sheltered. Because not only could you have a tornado heading into town, if you live in Corning, I'm going to zoom way in and circle Corning on the map. If you live in the city limits of Corning or anywhere nearby, you've got what could be large hail moving in very, very soon, along with the tornado warning. Along with the possible tornado. So, Corning, McDougal, and there's a road network that comes down here that goes back down to the south that comes into Corning here. If you live anywhere near Corning or in between Corning and McDougal, would certainly want everyone to be sheltered. I can pull up my big map real quick and get a little bit more specific. This is our only tornado warning in the state of Arkansas as of 7:21 p.m., so I'm not forgetting anybody. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings that I'll talk about here in a minute, but I would like to address this accordingly. Let me zoom out just a hair so you can see kind of the rest of the tornado warning here. So if you live on Highway 62, near Corning, if you live on Highway 67, near the 62 interchange, if you live near the Black River Trap and Skeet Club, which is near 135 and Highway 162, Highway 62 and 135, right in here. If you live near the Happy Home Church, which is close to there as well, I certainly would like for you to be sheltered because it's possible tornadoes head your way, along with very large hail. If you live pretty much anywhere on Highway 62 all the way over to McDougal, Pollard, you're under a tornado warning. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Rector is also under a tornado warning, along with Peach Orchard. It looks like the worst of it is to your north for the moment. We'll see if it moves southeast any. But areas to the east, Greenway, Piggott on Highway 49. Highway 1 connects there at 49. And then that runs all the way up to 139 that takes you up to the Missouri border. Near Pollard. And then, of course, you have St. Francis and far extreme northeastern Arkansas. Way up in the northeast corner here, that includes you too. Pretty much all of Clay County except for this small little chunk there in the eastern section of the county. is under a tornado warning. But there's also great concern for the hail core here too. Certainly would want everyone to be sheltered. We do have the severe thunderstorm warnings down here that I can address real quick from Dardanelle down to Waldron. You've got a hail core here that's going to be moving into Danville soon. I'd be interested to know how large that hail is if somebody can give me a report. Certainly want everyone to be sheltered there in northern Yale County. Our special weather statement storm is headed off towards Batesville, Cushman, north of Concord. This storm could be strong and could eventually produce large hail, so need to keep a close eye on that. And then we have a severe thunderstorm warning here, Cherokee Village, Williford, Ravenden, and Bowdoin, and Ravenden Springs. Large hail is possible there. Large hail is likely, too, in Maynard and areas north of Pocahontas soon, so keep that in mind. But our only tornado warning on the board, as of 7:23 p.m., is the tornado warning for extreme northeastern Greene County and Clay County. A lot of people asking about timing right now for areas that are not being impacted by storms. This is kind of where we're at. New severe thunderstorm warning there near Pocahontas we'll address in just a second. This is where our storms are now. We have some additional pops down to the southwest and southeast Oklahoma, and this could move east with time as well. I wonder if the National Weather Service will do a severe thunderstorm watch in South Arkansas for that, but all this activity is moving east with time, so it'll be in central Arkansas within the next couple of hours. It's 7 o'clock now, so between the 8 and 9 o'clock hour, this is going to continue moving east into central Arkansas. We already have storms approaching Batesville now. That's going to continue moving east towards Jonesboro and the Newport, Paragould, Mark Tree, Osceola area. So storms aren't moving real slow today. We have easterly movement, 40 to 50 miles an hour. So within the next few hours, we'll likely start observing this activity in central Arkansas, and then eventually eastern Arkansas might be a little bit later, so maybe 9 to 11 p.m., especially south of Jonesboro towards Wynne, Stuttgart, areas near Memphis, and so on. Of course, we already have storms in far northeast Arkansas that we're dealing with, but that's kind of a rough estimate here over the next few hours on what you can expect. If you live near Little Rock or Jonesboro or areas east of Little Rock, thunderstorms are possible this evening, some strong to severe. We're already dealing with that now. I just panicked for a second. I thought my Facebook ended my stream, and I was about to get very, very upset. We do have the new severe thunderstorm warning it's due to these two hail cores here. Well, we have three. We have a hail core here headed for Maynard. We've got a hail core here near Ravenden Springs. And then we have one here near Ashflat as well. And this is all moving off to the east. So several counties here under severe thunderstorm warnings, from Ashflat to Ravenden Springs, over to Pocahontas, back into Randolph County near Biggers. And this could eventually impact sections of Greene County with time. Batesville and Cushman, you've got a storm moving in on you soon. So Independence County, that storm is headed your way relatively soon. We have more stuff developing near Atkins, south of Clinton. And our only tornado warning is still here in Clay County and northeastern Greene County. It's a lot of words. This is a tough area to get real good radar images, to be honest with you. I guess I could switch to Memphis. That would probably help. But our circulation is right here just south of Corning. This is the area of concern. Really want everyone in Corning to be sheltered. Anywhere near Corning, north of Noble. And then areas east of Greenway, Piggott, Pollard. Eventually Nimmons too, possibly. Areas north of Rector. Our circulation is just south of Corning now. It's moving off to the east. It's moving pretty much straight east, it appears. Circulation's there for now, so you would expect a straight easterly movement towards Piggott and Greenway. So, folks, you have plenty of time. If you live in Piggott, if you live in Greenway, if you live near Pollard, if you live anywhere in eastern Clay County, you need to be sheltered because there's a potential tornado headed for you. This is a pretty good radar circulation. I would say it's certainly worth the tornado warning. And along with the potential for some hail too there, especially over Corning. I've got quite a following in Corning. Hopefully everyone's sheltered, but I'm interested to hear what the hail sizes are with this in Corning. I usually get a lot of reports from that area, especially if we have winter weather and stuff. But I want to reiterate that the circulation involved here that sparked the tornado warning is here just south of Corning. I did not mean to zoom in that far, I'm sorry. Check and see if there's anything on the debris tracker. I don't know. I don't really see anything of note that I can tell. Definitive, of course. This is still a radar indicated warning from the National Weather Service. The circulation is passing near Corning now. Tornado and golf ball size hail is the hazards with this Clay County. It's moving east at 50, so you're running out of time if you live near McDougal, Pollard, Piggott, or Greenway. This is not moving slow. It's moving east. It's about to cross Highway 135 at the Highway 62 interchange near McDougal. Areas east of Noble. There at the Highway 90 and Highway 135 interchange. I'm talking about this area right here. This is an interchange there at 135 and 62. The circulation is there near Corning. It's going to be moving over that interchange soon. So if you know somebody for whatever reason, if somebody's driving in that area, I would certainly encourage you to call them and tell them that there could be a tornado headed right for them. It's a very dangerous storm in Clay County. We still have our special weather statement storm there. We've got severe thunderstorms southwest of Russellville near Dardanelle, headed east towards Perry County. And then severe thunderstorm warnings from Horseshoe Bend all the way to Cherokee Village and Bowdoin, Black Rock, Pocahontas. And then, of course, our Clay County tornado warning is still ongoing. Twitter real quick and see if anybody's tagged me in reports. Twitter and Facebook are so powerful for reports. I get so many good things from you guys. A lot of big tornadoes up in Indiana, Missouri, and Illinois today. Wow. Summer, these storms are in northeast Arkansas, a long ways away from Hot Springs. If you're curious about storms in Hot Springs, we don't currently have any storms in Hot Springs or anything moving into Garland County at this time. We do have storms that are kind of, looks like jetting off from this main line from Waldron down to southeast Oklahoma that we'll have to watch, but there's nothing in Hot Springs right now. Switch over to Little Rock radar real quick. The circulation is passing through Corning now and is moving off to the east. So the 135 and 62 interchange, which is right here, right there, is next. And then, of course, we have McDougal, Pollard, Piggott, and Greenway are next as this circulation continues off to the east. Sorry for making noises with my cup. Thirsty. I will say the circulation on this one scan looks a little different than it did just a few moments ago. It was kind of tight there. Just east of Dado, you could really see it looked like it kind of tightened up. Well, then look at it now, though. Wow. Really want everyone to be sheltered anywhere from Corning east into eastern Clay County. You should be sheltered. There's a good chance that this storm is trying its best to produce a tornado at this time. It's 7:32 p.m. Of course, it's Friday, May 16th. Want everyone to take this storm really serious as it continues off to the east. Our circulation is located right here, moving off to the east. You can see hints of an inflow notch here. It's a pretty stout storm branched off to the east. It looks like we have Some larger hail possible as well there north of Corning. This could be off-centered a little bit. This is kind of a good distance away from the Memphis radar. But heads up for that, McDougal and Pollard, even if you're not impacted by a tornado or strong winds, you could have large hail. And still, this is still the only tornado warning too. Yeah, I know. You're not going to get me yelling or anything or acting ridiculous on stream. My goal is to help prepare you, not scare you. If people, nothing against anybody, but if you have somebody doing radar coverage and they're screaming and yelling, sorry, I couldn't watch that. That would drive me bonkers. I know that the focus is on the tornado warning, but I want everyone to be well aware from Franklin, Horseshoe Bend, over to Cherokee Village, Raven and Springs, Maynard, and Pocahontas. Strong winds, hail possible, nasty storm. Batesville, same thing, special weather statement. Could be hail moving in soon, so stay indoors. And then, of course, our severe thunderstorm warnings from Russellville. I'm going to touch on this real quick before we go right back to the tornado warning. We've got a line of storms forming from Atkins, south of Clinton, all the way down to southwest of Waldron now, just north of Mena. And this is all moving to the east. Okay? Everything tonight is going to be moving to the east. But really concerned about our Clay County storm here. This storm really seems like it's trying to get its act together as it moves through Clay County. It almost looks like we have, I can't say for sure, but a bounded weak echo region here. On the reflectivity scan, you look at the velocity, it matches. I feel like that last scan was pretty ominous to me. It looked like this storm was at least attempting to produce something. It's difficult to say. I'm not the best when it comes to the debris tracker stuff. Unless it's real definitive. I feel like I have a hard time picking it up sometimes. But the scan right before this one, right there, just east of Corning, right here, right there, certainly a little bit concerning there. We still have a tornado warning, of course, for almost all of Clay County, eastern Clay County. They cut off Greene County. Greene County is no longer in the warning. That was just northern Greene County in the first place. But certainly want everyone there in McDougal, Pollard, Piggott, and Greenway to take shelter due to a possible tornado warning. My phone is blowing up right now, guys. I'm sorry. All kinds of reports. Once again, the circulation here is moving off to the east. There's southwest of McDougal. We can get a little more specific on it too for a second, guys. I've done this once before, but in case you're just now joining, if you live near the Happy Home Church, Black River Trap and Skeet Club, the New Home Church, if you live on Highway 141 south of McDougal, there's a good chance that there's a chance that this storm could be producing a tornado near your area. If you live, of course, in the city limits of McDougal or anywhere nearby, we would certainly want you to be sheltered. Moving east from 141, I'll show you guys on here real quick, so I'm not just reading this off and you guys can get an idea. Let me see if I can kind of do a... Okay, that is really annoying. So our circulation is here. I'm going to circle the circulation with the worst circle ever. McDougal is right here on my screen. You can see my cursor. I'm circling it. Our circulation is here just southwest of McDougal. So this is approaching 141 and Highway 62. If you live anywhere near the Crockett Cemetery, the Rogers Cemetery, Hill Aviation, really anywhere along Highway 141 out of McDougal, this is moving immediately. The storm is moving pretty quick, around 50 miles an hour. So you're running out of time, which should have been sheltered 20 minutes ago, but I know that sometimes people delay. I get it. I'm a procrastinator myself sometimes. But eastern Clay County, with the exception of Nimmons and now Rector, has kind of been excluded from the polygon. It looks like it's going to stay north of you. The Greenway, Piggott, and Pollard. And St. Francis should be sheltered. This is our only tornado warning in the state of Arkansas as of 7:38 p.m. I am going to break off the tornado warning for just a second and reference some of our severe thunderstorm warnings because I know not everyone lives in Clay County. We'll start here in western Arkansas. We have severe thunderstorms from Yell County all the way into parts of Scott County. These storms are branching all the way into southwestern Scott County too. We have strong storms over Atkins, east of Russellville, moving off to the east. We have a strong thunderstorm moving into Batesville now. There's a special weather statement on this storm. No severe thunderstorm warning. This storm has kind of struggled a little bit, but it could still be strong when it moves into town. Batesville, Sulphur Rock, areas south of Cave City, so a large chunk of Independence County there. And then we have severe thunderstorm warnings from Franklin, near Ash Flat, Highland, Williford, Raven Springs, Ravenden, and Bowdoin, College City, which is in northern, I believe that's Lawrence County. Pocahontas, of course, is in Randolph, Biggers, Reno, and Maynard will be impacted by this severe thunderstorm. We've got some nasty hail likely occurring near Corning and McDougal, Noble, And then, of course, to finish things up, we have our tornado warning in eastern Clay County, which we have discussed at length. We'll go ahead and switch back over to the Memphis radar and discuss this some more. I really appreciate everybody watching. I'm sorry if I'm not getting to your questions. We just have a lot going on right now, guys. If we can get this tornado warning off the board, I can focus on the chat a little bit more and answer some questions. But this dadgum storm will not stop rotating. Storm's moving fast tonight. So keep that in mind. If for some reason you're put under a warning, or especially a tornado warning, I wouldn't dilly-dally, especially if it's close, because these storms are not moving 20 miles an hour tonight. They're moving quick, 40, 50 plus miles per hour as they track off to the east. Yeah, it does seem like these storms are, which was expected, they're kind of growing in length here from northeast to southwest. The front has pushed into western Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, which is kind of excluding that part of the state for a severe weather risk. It's more so the severe weather risk is, of course, to the east of the front now as these storms move off to the east. The concern is in this part of the state. Tornado watches really are limited to this half of the state, but we'll see what they do with South Arkansas, maybe severe thunderstorm watches or something, but for now, that part of the state is clear. Folks, don't forget to, if you're watching on Facebook, you can turn your phone to the sideways and make the image a little bit more clear. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, that's real easy to do. And I'm also live on Twitter. You can cast me to your TV on YouTube, I think on Facebook as well, if you would like the picture to be a little bit bigger. I forgot to bring a phone charger in here. My phone's almost dead. I do have some storm spotters that work with me in Clay County. Wow, that's some big hail. Holy cow. Really big hail near Reno from my buddy Jason Hampton. Some of you guys might be familiar with Jason. He is a pretty well-known storm spotter in that part of the country of Arkansas, Randolph County. This is near Reno, which is in eastern sections of Randolph County. I'll show you guys real quick this hail report. I don't want to take anything away from the tornado warning. We'll discuss that again here in just a moment. But folks, the hail threat today is legit. This is what I was talking about. This is near Reno. That's hurt you hail. If that hits you in the head, it's going to be a painful night of sleep. Certainly want everyone to be aware of the potential today. That would hurt. We really want everyone, though, in Clay County to be sheltered. I'm going to get this photo ready to go. Wow. That's huge hail. I got that posted on Facebook. Really appreciate Jason letting me share that on my page. Jason's a really good spotter. He does a lot of good work in that part of the state. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm forgetting about the tornado warning in Clay County. This is continuing for Clay County. I think our time on this is 16-minute expiration. So we're looking at around an 8 o'clock expiration if all goes to plan. We'll see what the National Weather Service does with this. I think in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I feel like this is going to continue east at a pretty good clip and then be moving in. It's going to be Missouri's problem here soon. But I really want anyone, and it's moving beyond McDougal now. It's headed for Pollard, Piggott, and St. Francis, areas near Greenway. So eastern sections of Clay County, you have a possible tornado headed your way. Really appreciate all the reports, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Strong storm moving into Batesville soon. Independence County, Sulphur Rock, with hail possible along with strong wind gusts. We'll switch over to the Little Rock radar real quick and touch on these storms. I feel like these storms have been sitting here forever, but they've actually been moving east pretty quick. It's kind of like a string bean line of storms here. This could prevent the hail threat from being too prolific down here. We'll see. The National Weather Service does have the severe thunderstorm warning in Scott and Yell counties. And this is going to continue off to the east. This could eventually impact like Little Rock, Hot Springs Village, Maumelle, Mayflower, Conway, Cabot, Jacksonville within the next hour or two. So just a heads up on that. The National Weather Service went ahead and extended the special weather statement into parts of Jackson County and southern Lawrence County for this storm near Batesville. So Sulphur Rock, Newark, Tuckerman, Campbell Station, Grubbs, Swifton, Alicia, Minturn, and areas south of Strawberry. Due to the storm moving through Batesville now, could have large hail. Doesn't look like it's rotating a whole lot. It kind of has that supercell look to it. We'll keep an eye on that one, folks. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warnings that go from Franklin all the way up into Ravenden and Bowdoin, Ravenden Springs, Pocahontas, Manor, Reno, and Biggers. And then they just issued another severe thunderstorm warning that encompasses a large part of Clay County, likely due to the hail that has been occurring. If you're just now tuning in, we've had some extremely large hail today. I just posted an image on my Facebook of some very, very large hail near Reno, thanks to Jason Hampton. That's really big hail. Folks, as soon as we can get rid of this tornado warning too, we can kind of do a reset and talk locations and try to get to the stream questions, because I know some of you have questions. But this is moving towards Pollard. The circulation in question is headed for Pollard, Piggott, and Greenway, and St. Francis. We'll do a reset real quick, guys. Then we'll go back to our tornado warning. So it is Friday, May 16th, 7:47 p.m. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in place. We have a tornado warning in northeast Arkansas that we've been covering. This activity is moving to the east. Okay. So I want to make something really clear. We kind of had this little boundary set up here from northeast to southwest. If you live up here in Fort Smith, you live in northwest Arkansas, near Harrison, Mountain Home, The severe weather risk is pretty much over. It's possible we could have some backside activity, but I think for the most part, the activity is going to be focused to the east of that boundary, of that front that's kind of encroached into the state, which is why a lot of you are under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. in central and eastern Arkansas. Folks, these storms are moving east. So, we can all, looking at this radar, it's very easy to see. If you live in Conway, if you live near the Little Rock Metro, if you live in Searcy, Newport, Jonesboro, Paragould, I can't rule out the potential that you will encounter storms tonight, some which can be strong to severe. If you live in Jonesboro, if you live on I-40 between Little Rock to Memphis, if you live anywhere in eastern Arkansas, especially there north of Pine Bluff, Stuttgart, Brinkley, Hazen, Wynne, if you live in eastern Arkansas north of Memphis, we'll just have to see where storms develop, how they mature, and how they move to the east. Today is a scattered day, which means that there's not going to be a huge sweeping line of storms and everyone gets hit. This is not one of those days. So some of you guys are going to go through today and get nothing. But some of you will, and some of you already have. We have some people, some of the hail reports we've had today are huge. We've had tornado warnings, with severe thunderstorms in general. And we have one tornado warning on the board still as of 7:49 p.m. And this tornado warning is for northeastern Clay County. This warning is set to expire here in the next 9 minutes. We'll see what the National Weather Service does with this. Storm's moving pretty quick, and we'll be moving off into Missouri soon. It does look like we have large hail once again. Reno, Arkansas, which is right here, was just hit with very large hail. I just posted it on my Facebook a few moments ago, thanks to Jason Hampton. And I hate to be that guy, but Reno and Biggers, and Dado, you've got more big hail headed your way. So I say more big hail. It's likely large. I would expect this to be. I would expect there to be more large hail in this storm. So just a heads up, if you live there in eastern Randolph and western Clay County, there's more storms headed your way. And then, of course, we have our Batesville storm now that's moving off towards Sulphur Rock. I'd be real interested to know what the hail size is there. I would be real interested to know what the hail sizes are there near Sulphur Rock and Batesville. I just got another photo from somebody in Reno. They canceled the tornado warning, guys. So we'll switch back to Little Rock radar and start discussing some of this stuff. Trying to make a report on social media real quick, guys, of that hail. guys. I was making that report on Facebook. I'll show you guys the image real quick. This image was sent to me by Erica Moore, a very large hail near Reno. This is the second report that I have received from Reno, a very large hail. That's a good one. Right at baseball size, maybe slightly below baseball size, but a good chunk of hail that'll hurt. The Reno stone that we were sent earlier by Jason Hampton might have been slightly larger. But, guys, I want to do a quick reset real quick and kind of give everybody a synopsis of what's going on, what has went on, and what you should be expecting through the rest of the evening. If you live in western Arkansas, the front has kind of encroached here. So if you live in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Van Buren, Alma, West Fort, Fayetteville, Springdale, Bentonville, Harrison, Clarksville, this activity has moved off to the east and away from you. Obviously, the activity that is ongoing now is still going to continue moving off to the east. So if you live in central Arkansas, if you live in eastern Arkansas, you've got these batches of storms that are going to continue off to the east towards your location. That's kind of what we're dealing with at the current time. I have said all day that I don't feel like the tornado risk today in Arkansas, specifically to Arkansas, is very high because of veered surface winds. The winds are out of the southwest at the surface, not at the southeast, which is generally more conducive for tornadoes. That I felt like today was more of a hail day, and so far it has been just that. We've had very large hail today. That forecast is verifying well. Doesn't mean we can't have tornadoes. We've had a tornado warning for the last hour, it feels like, that was just canceled in Clay County. But I truly believe the greatest concern today is strong winds, large hail. So that's kind of where we're at. Somebody asked, why is the radar on my phone so broken up? Well, it's possible that it's picking up on the broken line of storms we're dealing with. We have storms all the way down south of Fort Smith in northern Polk County, all the way up into northeastern Clay County. We've got, this is an expansive line of storms that are kind of broken at times. This is why I've been stressing all day that storms could be scattered or broken in coverage, maybe isolated like the Batesville storm. Some of you will stay dry tonight and get nothing, while others already have and will get something from this. Cheyenne says, when did he say more of a chance for tornadoes? Tomorrow? I haven't talked about anything but today. I don't think the risk for tornadoes is very high tomorrow. I think the tornado risk might be a little bit better maybe on Monday, and perhaps Tuesday. We'll see. Models kind of went wishy-washy on me for early next week, so I'll dive into that later. But tomorrow, Saturday, and we'll have to see on Sunday. Black Rock and Powhatan won't get hit at all. Okay. Rose says it's hailing in St. Francis. I bet it is. Yeah, this is up in northeast Arkansas. This is the previously tornado-warned storm. I would be curious to know, Rose, how large is the hail in St. Francis? Haley says, do you think Paragould is going to stay dry? Haley, I wish I could tell you yes or no. At this point, I think I'm leaning more towards no, because we have storms that have kind of back-built to your west from Pocahontas all the way down to Evening Shade. This is eventually going to move into Paragould. We also have the Batesville storm to the south, but it looks like that's going to stay a little bit isolated. That's headed off towards Tuckerman, Cache, and eventually maybe Jonesboro. Chelsea's asking about Southwest Arkansas. We don't have anything in Southwest Arkansas at the time. Really haven't had a whole lot of storms forming out there. It looks like we have some blips near Texarkana. We have a storm west of Broken Bow, Oklahoma. We'll see what that evolves into Southwest Arkansas. There's plenty of storm fuel to work with in this part of the state. But right now, no concerns in Southwest Arkansas in the immediate future. Tiriana says, what is the timing for Osceola? Next couple of hours. You've got storms in, Osceola's right here. You've got a storm here near Batesville. This is moving off to the east. It's not going to be too long before that gets there. Maybe it'll miss you to the north or something, but we'll have to watch that over the next hour or two. Storm's moving pretty quick, so maybe in the next hour. Emily says, Little Rock under severe thunderstorm warning. No, not right now. Maybe a section of Pulaski County is, yep. But Little Rock is not under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. This is mainly for Perry County from Ola, Casa, Adana, Perry, Perryville, and far western sections of Pulaski County, but Little Rock is not currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. Emily, we just talked about Paragould a couple seconds ago. I wish I could post a pic in this chat. Haley, if you have a picture, feel free to send it to me on Facebook, send it to my messages, or you can tag me on Twitter. Papa Copeland's asking about Rector. Rector is, excuse me. Rector is under a severe thunderstorm warning due to the storms that are just to the north and west. It's likely that Rector will observe storms here within the next 30 minutes or so, which could include strong winds and large hail. We just talked about Rector. Brooklyn, we just talked about Paragould. It's kind of the same thing. You've got storms off to the west that could move in over the next 30 to 45 minutes to maybe the next hour. The storms are moving pretty quick. So you have storms to the west now that are moving east towards Oak Grove Heights, Marmaduke, Paragould, eventually down into Craighead County. We'll watch this storm. If you live in Brooklyn, if you live in Lake City, if you live in Jonesboro, we'll have to watch the Batesville and Sulphur Rock storm as it moves off to the east towards your location into Craighead County. It might stay, the worst of it could stay south of Jonesboro. We'll see. We'll need to watch this storm close because this one could eventually produce some pretty large hail. We had rain in the forecast earlier, but nothing. I'm in hope. Yeah, scattered day, so that's common on a scattered forecast. Maybe rain in the forecast on your phone. Mobile apps really struggle on days like today. Colin, I don't really know if I believe that, brother, to be honest with you, especially with storms moving into central Arkansas now. I mean, I guess it's possible, but they would have to start fizzling pretty quick here. I'm in Morrilton, headed for Oklahoma. Am I good? You're going to run into storms here pretty soon. But I think once you get past that little line, you should be okay if you're headed west on 40. Oh, my arm hurts. Candace says the weather app radar is showing a big red sail coming into Desha County, but yours doesn't show anything. What's going on? Candace, without the risk of sounding rude, your weather app is trash. I'm just kidding. There's nothing moving into Desha County right now. Weather apps, though, if it's like a futurecast kind of thing, sometimes can really struggle. Maybe later tonight, but nothing now. There's nothing even anywhere close to Desha County. I'm not sure what's wrong with your app. It might be a malfunction of some kind. Storms have already moved through Russellville, Reagan. Everything's moving off to the east. Kate says, is the timing for Redfield still about 9? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, within the next hour and a half or so, these storms are moving off to the east into central Arkansas. I mean, you can see it here, guys. This line is moving into central Arkansas. This whole branch of storms is moving off to the east towards Hot Springs Village, Little Rock, Benton, Jacksonville, Cabot. And some of the storms in this line, you could have embedded pockets of severe thunderstorms, large hail, and strong winds. Summer, you had a storm move through Batesville a few moments ago. I think that was probably the worst of it in the short term. Hopefully you don't have anything else tonight. No, Tammy, unfortunately, I think Little Rock will likely see storms over the next hour, 2 hours or so. These storms are moving pretty quick. Pulaski County is under severe thunderstorm warning, but is the far western section of Pulaski County. It does not include the city of Little Rock yet. Makes sense. It's always wrong. I'm sorry, Candace. I'm not a weather app fan. I have gotten so many messages today from people confused because their weather app is just all over the place. It's so annoying. It's not anyone's fault, I don't think. The weather apps are just... I don't really know how they're computed, to be honest with you. I'm sure it's all in good, mint, but not what, I don't know. I don't know enough about them. I'm just giving you a hard time. But it does look like we have large hail now moving into St. Francis and through Pollard. and Piggott. We had some hail reports in St. Francis earlier. Hail moving into Bigger soon. Hail moving into Bowdoin soon. The hail sizes on the Batesville storm has moved off to the east towards Swifton, Tuckerman. So northern Jackson County. It looks like the hail sizes have gone down on that too a little bit. We'll see. Stronger storms near Damascus, Guy, and Quitman. And then a severe thunderstorm warning moving into Perry County. Casa, Adana, Perryville, Houston. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust along with some large hail possible. Dahlia says tornado threat for North Little Rock. It's pretty low. Yeah, pretty low. Callie says, is the Batesville storm headed to Paragould? So it looks like it's going to stay south of Paragould, but I think you could get clipped by the storms. If you're in Paragould, right here, you could get clipped by this stuff here. We'll see. But I think this storm's going to stay to the east of you, or to the south of you if you're in Paragould. Yasmin's asking about Hot Springs. Hot Springs is right here. You've got storms off to the west here that are moving off to the east. So we'll see if that fills in, Yasmin. They would likely be there within the next hour or two. But nothing imminent in Hot Springs as of 8 o'clock. Tornado threat for Morrilton's also low. Sydney says, is wind going to be in the path? I just joined. So it does look like there is at least a chance that the storms that are well off to the west, north of Little Rock, could move into wind later. Wind is right here, for those who don't know. You've got storms that are moving off to the east, so it could have eventually impact wind over the next few hours. Yeah. Kaylin says, so it's definitely going to hit Jonesboro. It does look like the storm to your west will eventually move in. It might, the worst of it, might miss Jonesboro just to the south. But it does look like Jonesboro will at least get some rainfall out of this. But I don't see anything too crazy for the short term. We'll see if that changes. This is just a special weather statement storm. It's not a severe thunderstorm at this time, per the National Weather Service. If you're in Cherokee Village and Ash Flat, I think you're going to be okay short term. We'll see if anything redevelops, but it looks like the worst of it has moved off to your east. Emily says, is there more hail coming to Corning soon? It does look like that's possible, Emily. There's more storms to the west near Biggers, but I think the line is shifting more to your east-southeast, so hopefully the worst of it is over in Corning. I know you guys have been hit by some nasty storms tonight. Summer says, how are the wind with these storms? Is that whole line strong winds? No, I don't think the entire line is producing significant wind gusts, but there could be embedded gusts, that are stronger. Like the storm here moving into Perry County could have some stronger winds with it. And then, of course, the storms in eastern and northeast Arkansas might have stronger winds as well. But generally, it seems like the warnings have went out for 60-mile-an-hour max wind gust tonight. I think hail was the bigger concern today, and it's verified well. Currently under a tornado watch. That makes me nervous. I was in the 2023 tornado, but we were okay. I understand. I feel like the tornado watches today, I think they were warranted. I just don't think the tornado risk is real high today. It doesn't mean it's zero. If you're under a tornado watch until 2 a.m., we have to remain vigilant, and monitor for tornado potential this evening. But for now, I don't see anything imminent when it comes to tornadoes. We'll see if that changes. How is Conway looking? Storm's off to your west now, moving in here fairly soon. Doesn't look like anything too crazy. Kelby says, we've really yet to see the gorilla hell. What is gorilla hell? What is that? Kelby, I don't really know what gorilla hell is, but we had a hail size near baseball earlier, so it's pretty big. I posted on my Facebook. The hail that was in Reno earlier, I think, would qualify as gorilla hell, whatever the heck that is. But Callie, once the line kind of moves through, I think for the most part the worst of it is over. That doesn't mean there can't be any redevelopment whatsoever, but it looks like the worst of it is moving off to the east. So we'll see what happens. Drew is asking about Conway and hail-producing storms. It looks like the Perry County storm is going to stay to your south, southeast, or southwest. I don't see any huge hail coming into Conway at this time. Kelby says, yeah, I guess that'll count. Okay, fair enough. Tracy said, gorilla hell is a Reed Timmer term for anything bigger than golf balls. Okay, fair enough. Speaking of Reed, we are doing an event in Fort Smith together in October at Temple Live. So if you live anywhere near Fort Smith and you want to see me and Reed in person, come out and talk tornadoes with us. Reed's going to do a talk, and I think I'm going to talk a little bit about severe weather. It'll be a good time. Thank you for reminding me about Reed. I'm sure he's out looking for tornadoes today. Jonesboro, Brooklyn, asked Kresha. So if you're in Jonesboro, there is a storm to your west. It does look like it's struggling a little bit. We'll see if that moves into Jonesboro here within the next 30 minutes or so, but it doesn't look like anything too crazy. Barton says, hey, Zach, how are things? Nothing is kicked off here in Crittenden County. Well, brother, you still got a lot of activity to your west that hasn't made it to you. So we'll see what happens here over the next few hours. Crittenden County is kind of far east from our segment of storms. But it does look like storms are struggling a little bit right now. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. The storms that formed early that had the big hail, that was kind of expected when storms were a little bit more discreet. So we'll see if anything makes it to you later. We've already talked about Greene County a bunch. How's that Tuckerman storm? We got the cats put up. They won out. Yeah, I mean, you might keep them in for just a little bit longer. Tuckerman, for those who don't know, is right here in northern Jackson County. The worst of the storm is just to your west. It'll be moving in soon and be out of there pretty quick. This storm is moving pretty quick, so if you're in northern Jackson County, it shouldn't be too long. Barton says, I know. I just think they're going to die off. Yeah, they might. We'll see. I hope they do. No offense. I'm ready to chill, enjoy my night. Heather says, Newport, anything? No, not right now. The storms are to the north of Newport. We'll watch the stuff to the southwest, and to the west. It looks like there's some storms forming to the west here that could eventually impact Newport, but it'll be just a little bit before that gets there. Dylan's asking about Greenbrier. We have storms moving into Greenbrier now. Doesn't look like anything too significant. The stronger stuff looks to be to your north near Damascus. So might hear some rumbles of thunder, get some rainfall. The strongest storm in this part of the state is near Perryville in Casa. Adana, Perry, Houston. Sorry. Wow, I just got a really big hail report from Pocahontas. From Austin Troche, I think is how you say his name. I'm sorry, buddy, if I mispronounced your name. I'll share that with you guys in just a moment. Just had big hail in Danville from Shauna Cluck. Let me delete this post real quick and post this one from Pocahontas. You guys will give me just a moment, okay? I'm going to make this post real quick. Show you guys that picture real quick of the hail in Pocahontas. Austin, I don't know how to say your last name, and I'm really sorry if I'm not saying it correctly, but I think it's Troche. Austin Troche. Troche. I'm sorry, buddy, if that's not right. Don't yell at me. But this is the hail from Pocahontas. Pocahontas is in northeast Arkansas. It's not far from Reno, where we saw some of that large hail. This get hurt hail. That hits you in the head, it's not going to feel too good. So the large hail part of the forecast, I feel like, is verified very well today. We've had some spots with some large to very large hail, which was well forecasted. And it looks like we have more large hail possibly moving into Imboden now, which could eventually pass into Pocahontas again. And then we have more hail possible there in southwestern Clay County near Noble, north of Peach Orchard. No, the radar is updated. It's 812. It's updated. Guys, we've got severe weather up in Canada, all the way through Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, into Arkansas and Texas. This is a stout storm system. Really, really interesting to see all the severe weather warnings from north to south. They're moving more easterly, yeah. So moving more east today. The entire complex itself kind of has an east, not kind of, it does, has like an easterly component to it. You can see when you put the radar into motion, everything is moving off to the east tonight. Maybe a hint of southeast at times, but east in general. Michaela says tornado threat for Osceola, or is it mostly hail and high winds? I think it's mostly hail and high winds tonight, but the tornado risk is not zero. I can't completely rule it out. Whitney says, how's Northeast Arkansas looking? Stormy for the moment. We've got plenty of thunderstorm activity ongoing in Northeast Arkansas. We kind of have things segmented a little bit. We got storms to the south and up here into the northeast from Pocahontas over to Corning. And then more activity to the south near Heber that's moving off to the east as well. So this is in my opinion, a true scattered forecast. I know that we have that line and the lineups of north, but we have kind of breaks in the line. So really tough to guarantee anybody anything. Can you comment on the Cape? Sure can. Yeah, I made a post about that earlier. I'm glad to hear that somebody was reading up on the Cape. So the instability today was very, very high, and it's still quite high. It does look like we have some capping trying to build in again. This is what the instability looks like now. You can see there's quite a bit of instability left here in southwest Arkansas and central Arkansas, where it seems like there's a little bit of an inversion, like we call it sin, where it's trying to build in where the blue shading is. It's not like it was earlier where the whole state was buried in just an abundance of thunderstorm fuel. But there's still some storm fuel left out there to work with. Those early storms that we had really took advantage of the thunderstorm fuel and produced some really big hail, especially in North Arkansas. Man, the hail up in Corning is huge. Holy cow. Yeah, so it does look like that storm is going to stay. It's going to be really close. The storm that's headed for Jonesboro looks like it's dying in northern Jackson County. So that Jonesboro people, the activity to your west looks like it's fizzling quite a bit. Let me show you guys. I'm going to just keep spamming these pictures to you guys. And then we'll go back and we'll look through our severe thunderstorm warnings one more time. Look at this picture of hail from Corning. West side of Corning near the fish hatchery. And this is from Trina Phillips. Folks, that's a chunk of hail now. Wow. Guys, let's go over our severe thunderstorm warnings real quick, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to start from north to south. We have severe thunderstorm warnings up in Clay County, mainly for large hail and wind. And then we have severe thunderstorm warnings that stretch into Randolph County, parts of Lawrence County from Imboden up to Pocahontas, also for hail and wind. This storm that is headed into Independence County soon looks sub-severe. It looks like it's dying, actually. So that's a good sign for Craighead County people and Mississippi County people. We have storms near Quitman and Guy. These are sub-severe as well. And then our only severe thunderstorm warning in this part of the state is the storm near Perryville in Perry County, Adana, Casa, and that's moving on to the east-southeast. And then we have a special weather statement for this line from Ola down to Mena. So, guys, I generally don't stay live for just generic severe thunderstorm warnings unless they have unless things really get serious like they were earlier. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop off the live coverage. And if we have anything of note, I'll make sure and share it on my Facebook, my Twitter, and whatnot to make sure you're updated. But I feel comfortable hopping off the live right now. We don't have any tornado warnings, famous last words. If, of course, we do get more tornado warnings, I'll hop right back on with you guys. I'm going to be close to the office all night. But if we have anything of note, I'll be sure to post it and share it on social media. That way you can read it. But I really appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for your trust. Big shout out to AR Online Lawyer, Arkansas Online Lawyer, my go-to e-service attorney in the state of Arkansas. If you're interested in legal counsel, you can visit aronlinelawyer.com. And then, of course, Arkansas Storm Shelters. They're located in Russellville. They serve the entire state. They've sponsored me for a long time, and they do great work. So thank you guys so much. And I will hopefully not see you again tonight on live coverage, but if I do, oh well. But maybe